For the first time today, we are hearing from a Springfield mother-daughter duo, one heartbeat away from being serial killers. It was 2012, a family of 5, the Staudtes, mother Diane, father Mark, son Sean, daughters Rachel, Sarah, and Brianna. But behind the scenes, the mother Diane and one of her daughters, Rachel, had a secret. They were plotting to kill their own family members. First, they poured antifreeze into husband Mark's drinks, killing him. Less than 6 months later, they poisoned and killed Sean. No questions were raised, even though the 2 deaths were similar. That was later blamed mostly on the family moving houses between the 2 deaths. The next summer, 2013, a 3rd person in the family, Sarah, was rushed to the hospital. That's when a phone call to the police started to unravel the Staudtes' sinister secret.
Just a lot of arguments. Both Sean and Sarah would just basically, I don't know, trash the house. They would do whatever they wanted to do and never helped support or even contribute. I should have just killed myself.
How long had you been giving them the antifreeze before they finally got, like before Sean passed and before Sarah?
Maybe a couple of days.
And what were you putting it in?
Coca-Cola.
What else?
I think that was it.
How much would you put in?
I don't know. Just a little bit.
And why just a little bit?
I didn't want to hurt them. I don't know. I didn't want to hurt them.
When did you start with Mark?
I didn't. I don't think I did it on Mark.
Diane, you've got to be honest about everything again. Let's not keep going over this because just when I feel you're finally starting to do the right thing, you got to be honest with me about everything. When did you start with Mark?
A couple of days before.
Okay. Was it shortly after you did the search? Okay. So you did this. Had you already had the antifreeze at that point, or did you order it after you did the Google search?
I ordered it after.
It wasn't about the money. Was it just about hating him so much?
Well, to be honest, I don't know. He would throw things at me. He would throw things at the kids. And I guess I just had enough.
Okay. And it sounds like then after he started to get sick, once he got to the point where he was so bad, that it sounds like you just waited until he passed and then you called 911. So you knew he was dead before you called 911. Okay. Did you check him for a pulse, or how did you know you did and there was no pulse? And obviously from your training, then you were aware that he was dead. And okay. How long had he been dead before you called 911?
Maybe 5 minutes.
Okay. So were you there kind of pretty much checking on him regularly to make sure when he was, and then when he finally did die, then you called?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then Sean, how did stuff get started with Sean?
Sean would be interfering with whatever I would do. To the point where he was getting into my work. And I would have to tell him, you need to leave, you know, go to your room, go do something. And he would just, how can I explain this? I don't know how to explain it. You get to the point where you just pull out your hair. Because I didn't know what else to do with them.
I mean, it was very similar to the way that Dad and Sean were going.
Right. Did she seem scared? Because, you know, you said you talked, or she had talked about being really afraid of death and not wanting to die. Did she ever mention anything about that? Or did she, or I know you said she was asking, you know, am I going to die or am I going to die soon? Did she ever say anything more about her fears of death?
Yeah.
She did. What'd she say?
She didn't want to die. She didn't want to. That there were things she wanted to do before she died.
Like what?
Like go to France. Mostly travel things.
Mm-hmm. So how are you guys getting her the drinks without her knowing about it?
She's on the computer a lot, on YouTube a lot, on sites like that a lot. And she's easily distracted. It wouldn't take much to, like, get whatever drink she did have and just slip it real quick.
Is that what you did?
Yeah.
So describe that to me, though. You said she'd be on the computer and distracted.
Take her drink, dump a little out, put stuff in, put it back next to her.
When you say put stuff back in, what were you putting back in there?
The antifreeze.
Okay. I'd like to know why you guys eventually took, you know, when Sarah got so bad, I know you guys said you thought that she was pretty much dead, but why did you take her to the hospital?
I didn't want another one to die in the house.
And why is that?
Because houses are nasty after somebody's died in it.
Okay, and what does that mean? What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I get a lot of nightmares. Like after Sean died, I moved into his room and it was awful, awful, awful in there. I kept feeling things in there. Just didn't want that again.
Okay. Were you surprised when you found out that Sarah was going to live?
Very.
Very surprised. And what did you think about that then whenever you found that out?
A bit surprised, but then just like, okay, so she's gonna live.
Were there any more discussions of finishing her off?
Didn't really get to.
Never got to those discussions?
Although we did talk about the likelihood of her still dying. I mean, like, if something just happened, like, I don't know, bleed out or something.
Did you think that eventually, after everybody dying off in similar ways, that we might show up to talk to you guys? Or were you guys pretty confident?
Didn't really think I would get caught. Stupid now that I think on it. But no, I didn't really think I would.
Did you want it to just be you and your mother?
Yeah.
And why is that?
Because she understands me. She doesn't annoy me.